Hey you guys, I'm back with another video review, and please don't be distracted by my blue eyeshadow. I just felt like being a little bit funky and edgy today. I normally wear matte colors and neutral colors on my eyes, but once in a while I just feel like breaking the rules and doing a nighttime look in the daytime just for fun. So I have absolutely nowhere to go, but I'm not doing my face again. So if I have to go somewhere later on today, this is how I'm going, and that's okay. Rule of thumb for me is you can break any rule as long as you're aware that you're breaking it. When you're just doing stuff, when we're just doing stuff all willy-nilly and just because somebody else did it and we're not really sure, is it appropriate for this event, is it not appropriate, that's when you can get yourself in trouble and looking crazy somewhere. But if you are confident enough in doing what you want to do, then go ahead and do it, because you'll always pull it off if you're confident about it. The only way you can't pull something off is if you aren't sure about what you're doing. So, and I really felt like doing this today. I haven't played with bright colors in a long time, so once in a while I just kind of like to, I don't know, spice it up a little bit. And I've been really inspired lately by like Lucille Ball and Liz Taylor and stuff like that. Just, I love that, those times, 40s and 50s, where people women just looked unbelievable and well kept and not messy and stuff. So I can't do this every day, but once in a while it's nice. So, and it was super easy, just with a flat iron. Curled it and pushed everything to the front. If you have long hair, you could definitely do this too. Just pull it all the way up and curl it up here and pin it up, and that is it. Anyway, and I have some clip-on rhinestone earrings. So this is like a 40s meets 80s a little bit. So I just kind of felt like mixing them up and see what happens. Anyway, enough with that. What I'm really here for is to discuss 3 foundations that I think are excellent for the summertime, since the weather is rapidly changing and out of nowhere it'll just get like humid and warm, and then it'll be cold again. So and maybe if you're looking for a foundation, you have oily skin, or even if you don't have oily skin, it's just good to get a foundation that kind of has like a matte finish, unless you have super dry skin, for the summertime, that it'll kind of prevent, you know, or at least control the oil and help with the sweating and still look good. So, and last all day. That's always my thing. Stuff has to last forever, because I don't have a lot of time to touch up, and there are some people that do that, and that's totally fine if they do, but I'm not going to be redoing my face like throughout the day constantly. If I do touch up, I might like blot my nose if I get too shiny, or reapply, you know, lip gloss or something like that, but I'm not like redoing my entire face throughout the day because I don't have time. But anyway, the first foundation I'm going to talk to you guys about is a very famous one. It's been around for ages and ages, and it's definitely oldie but a goodie. One of those foundations that I just always reach for, or come back to rather. I try a lot of new things, and I end up just coming back to it. Whenever I want that full face, nothing is going to stop this face. It can go against all the elements, that kind of face. I usually reach for this guy, Revlon Colorstay Liquid Foundation. I don't know about the 24-hour claim, but it definitely goes over the 8-hour mark, and that's pretty good for me. I'm not holding it to 10 to 12. Sometimes it does make it, depending on how the weather is, humidity and all that stuff. But anyway, I have it in combination to oily skin. They have normal to dry skin also, and they have like a great color range for the drugstore. Like, I think it's one of the best in the drugstore as far as color range. I think most people can find, from the lightest to the darkest, most people can find something somewhere in there, which is great, because I think drugstore foundations really suffer in that area. They just don't make enough colors for people. Anyway, like I said, this lasts all day long. It's great for oil control. In the summertime, I definitely get more oily. I'm definitely combo skin. In the winter, I only get oily right here. Everywhere else, I'm dry. And this will enhance any dry patches, or it'll look cakey. It definitely can look cakey like that. So you have to be careful the way you apply it. I suggest, if you want a heavier application, like if you have a lot of acne or scarring that you want to cover up, then you can definitely apply this with a brush. you know, a foundation brush or a flat top kabuki brush, or with your fingers, and you'll definitely get a heavier application. If you want a thinner application, you can definitely use a damp sponge, one of those like wedge cosmetic sponges. That's one of my favorite ways to do it. Or a beauty blender, if you have one, is great also. And just wet it, you know, and squeeze out the excess water. Dab some of this on the back of your hand, dab it on the sponge itself, or dab it all over, and then just blend it out with the sponge. You don't want to do sweeping motions with the damp sponge. That'll just really remove and just move around the product and give you streaks, and you don't want that. You want to just do stippling motions and occasionally sweeping a little bit just to blend out in the perimeter. That's another thing. You definitely want to blend it into your ears a little bit past your neck, and that'll definitely help. With such a thick consistency, you definitely need to blend. Blending is essential for stuff like this, because you'll definitely be able to tell. This does oxidize slightly, so if you get a shade that's a little too light, I think it'll be okay. I mean, just a little bit lighter than your skin, I think it'll be okay. This oxidizes on me usually in the summertime, not as much in the winter time. It's pretty good. So what else can I say about this? Oh, the new packaging does not show that it has SPF, but as far as I know, the old packaging always had the SPF 9, which is okay to photograph. What I mean by that, for those that don't know, is that foundations that have a high SPF will flash back. Have you ever had a nice foundation on and it looks good in person, and then you find a picture of yourself on Instagram that somebody tagged you, and your face looks completely white compared to the rest of your neck? That's what happens because of the ingredients that are in the SPF, which is titanium dioxide. Titanium dioxide, doesn't say it on here. Oh, and zinc oxide. I think that those are the two. Hold on, let me double check. Yes, zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. Those are the ingredients in the SPF that will usually cause that flashback. So, doesn't mean you can't have any SPF, but it has to be an insignificant amount of SPF. Like this one, it has SPF of 9. That doesn't really do much, so it's pretty safe. I wouldn't do anything over 10. I know that I've had foundations with like SPF 15, SPF 18, and they definitely flash back for me. It's just not, it's not worth the risk. So if you're going to an event, if you're going to prom, a wedding, just anywhere where you know you're going to be photographed, a night out on the town or whatever, and it's going to be a long day, I would definitely suggest this. This is so great. It photographs beautifully. And if it is too thick for you, if you think it might be too thick, you can definitely, like I said, use a damp sponge, but you can go a step further and mix a little bit of this, you know, on your hand or wherever, in a container, however you want to mix it. A little bit of this foundation with a moisturizer, your favorite moisturizer, and just create, you know, like a tinted moisturizer. And that'll be, you know, it'll give you some of that. It'll even out your skin tone a little bit without covering up too much. So, but yeah, so I think you can really work with this. Different skin tones could definitely work with this. Whether you have great skin and just want a little bit of coverage, but it'll last all day, just add a few drops of this to your moisturizer. If you have rosacea, acne, scars, whatever, this is a great drugstore product that you can definitely build on top of itself. It builds well to cover up any problem areas. So this is like a must-have. I have a few of these in my kit that I like to use this to kind of mix in other foundations that I have that might be a little dewy, because I do like that look for some things. But I'll add a few drops of this to just give it that like insurance of it staying on the face a little bit longer, or to just prevent, to control the oil. So it's a great foundation to mix with other foundations for that matter. Anyway, so great one. I suggest it. I highly recommend it. I suggest it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, next is Covergirl Outlast Stay Fabulous 3-in-1. I don't know where my cap went, but there it is. This is, mine is in number 845. This one does have SPF of 20. You can see it right at the bottom. So this one does not photograph well, that I found. It looks great. I have it on right now. And this one is silicone based, so it goes on like a dream on the face. It goes on, it really feels a lot like a high-end foundation. It goes on super, super smooth. It reminds me a little bit of Makeup Forever. Only Makeup Forever is more pigmented and thinner consistency. This is a little bit thicker and less pigmented, but nevertheless, it's great for the price. I can't remember the price right now, maybe like $10, something like that. It was like around $10. And yeah, it's great. I think that one is great for summertime. It stays on pretty well. I wouldn't say it stays on as well as Revlon Colorstay, the liquid foundation, but it's pretty close. It stays on me at least all day long. I might get a little shiny here and I might just touch up on my nose powder, my nose or whatever, but for the most part, it stays on all day. In the winter time, I did use it, but just like Revlon Colorstay, it will adhere to any dry areas and really just highlight them. So if you use that foundation, if you have dry skin, doesn't mean you can't use it, but I would definitely scrub, do a face scrub. If you don't have a scrub, you could just add a little bit of sugar to your favorite cleanser and just lightly scrub the face and then moisturize really well. Make sure that it sinks into the skin, and then you can go ahead and apply that foundation. I like applying that one specifically with a flat top kabuki brush. And I don't have one, I didn't bring it with me, but e.l.f. has a really great cheap one. It's only $3. It doesn't shed. You can find it at Target. You can find it at Walmart. It's all black and it's a flat top. And I just love using that. I think I used that brush. I did. I used that brush to apply that foundation in my Get Ready With Me video. So you can definitely check that video out and you can see how I applied that foundation, the CoverGirl. So I think that was great for the summertime as well. Again, you don't want to be photographed, at least flash photography. Flash, that's what messes everything up. You don't want to be photographed with that foundation on. So yeah, last but not least, because I really got to go, is another Revlon Colorstay one, but this is the Whipped formula. So Whipped sounds like it's really thick, but it's actually a lot thinner than the liquid. My lid kind of broke, but I'll show you. So it's definitely like a thick moussey type of texture, but it goes on very smooth. Now this one I like to apply with my fingers. I've tried different ways and I find that other ways it kind of comes out a little patchy. So, but it blends so beautiful, just so quickly all over the skin. Blend. It blends. I blend it out in like no time. It doesn't take me as much time as the other Revlon one, the liquid one. That takes more work to blend it in. But this one, before it sets, it does give you time to really work it in. And I used it with my fingers, just rub it in. I use that foundation when I'm in a rush. I gotta go, and but I need the coverage. Then I'll just grab for that one because I can just throw it on and out the door. I found that one gave me a little bit of flashback. Nothing too crazy, but enough to make me feel a little uncomfortable. But most people, it doesn't give them flashback. Like, I think people lighter than me won't have a problem with this foundation at all, giving them flashback. It doesn't say that it has any SPF, but in the ingredients, it does have those 2 ingredients that I mentioned earlier. So, but it doesn't say how much of those ingredients. So it might be an insignificant amount. So yeah, that's another one that is good for the summer and to be photographed in. That one doesn't last as long as the liquid Colorstay or as long as the Covergirl Outlast, but it's still very nice, and it's a lot thinner in consistency than the other two. So if you're a person that doesn't really like heavy foundation, that one is a lot better. And again, you can always apply some foundation. You know, you can always start with a little bit and then just build up rather than putting on too much, and then just blend it out with a damp sponge or a beauty blender. And that's it. I gotta go. I hope you enjoyed my makeup look today, because I sure did. I think this is really fun for prom, for any kind of like party or whatever. The only thing I would do different is definitely put glitter on there. Like if it was like for New Year's or prom, or, you know, like when I had my prom a million years ago. But yeah, I just think it's really fun for a concert night out. I think it's a really cute eye look. So I know I'm going to get some looks today if I walk out of the door with this look, but that's okay. I like it. It's fun. The camera's kind of washing me out a little bit. I do have a little bit of blush, very slight contouring. I don't like that whole like super perfect, super dark contouring unless it's for like some type of, you know, edgy shoot or something. But for the most part, just a little bit to kind of slim my face a little bit. And that's it. So until next time, guys, I love you guys. And if you have any more requests or any comments, you know, thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I'll catch you later. Bye.